Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new idea for a feature. You know me, I make 2 or 3 videos of a kind and then I stop. Well, here's a new idea. It's called a burst review, and the idea is to really just go over the main points about why a game is good or bad, why you should buy it or why you shouldn't. Now first off, Lego City Undercover, by the way. This game comes in a box with a minifigure. I haven't opened the minifigure, I don't intend to. That's not the kind of thing I play with, although I do want to check out Lego again after so many years. I used to play with it a lot as a kid. So anyway, game comes in a cardboard box, and then you get the game in the actual plastic box on the inside. Lego City Undercover is an open world game. By that I mean it's a wide open world where you can run around and pretty much do anything you want. If you played a Grand Theft Auto game, or you've seen a Grand Theft Auto game being played, it's like that, but the reason why I say it's like that is because I want to make sure you don't make the misappropriation in your mind that this game is not safe for children, or safe for a younger audience. The thing is, it is. Although it's very much like Grand Theft Auto, it's very comical, it's very zany, there's no violence, there's no smut, there's no blood. This is the best looking Lego game I've played. I mean, the environments just pop out visually. You're playing the game and just, wow, it looks pretty good. It looks like it shouldn't be a Lego game, you know. That's how good the environments look. The mountains, there's this castle you have to climb and it's amazing. Even the city looks really good. Way too good for like a Lego game, you know. Like, the Lego games have always had good environments, don't get me wrong, especially since Lego Indiana Jones, when they started going for a really realistic look with the environments. But at the same time, none of those games hold up a torch to what Lego City looks like. They call it Lego City, but it's more like Lego World, because there's a huge, massive forest, there's a mine, there's lots of cool stuff. It's not just in the city. There's tons of stuff. There's islands out in the middle of the ocean that you have to drive a boat to. The cars especially. Oh, the cars look amazing. Like, I'm not much of a driving game or even as much of a car fan as you might think. I'm not really keen on cars. I don't even like riding in them. I get car sickness. But the cars in the Lego game, they look amazing. They almost make me want to buy more Lego and try building them myself. And there's these amazing things in the game called super builds that are like giant Lego builds. There's a dragon and everything. But the way they're put together, if you watched it in slow-mo, you could probably learn how to build that Lego object yourself. How cool's that? General controls, movement, all fine. Like, I can't find anything to truly pick a hole in when it comes to the controls. I especially like that they're very intuitive controls. As soon as I got in a car, I knew how to drive it, you know. It was just like games I'd previously played in this genre. But just as familiar, immediately accessible. I knew exactly what I was doing. In general, the controls for the pad are fine. I just don't like that there's these things like audio scanning points and photo points where you have to hold the gamepad up to the screen. Now, in a game like WiiU, you hold the pad up to the screen and then you can use the sticks to aim if you don't want to have to use the motion sensing. But I haven't found an option in Lego City Undercover to say I want to use the sticks instead of the motion. So you do find yourself spinning around like an idiot trying to find things. Now, the problem is that if you're playing with the charging cable in the WiiU gamepad, then you might end up twirling yourself in cable. So if you're playing with the cable in, just take the cable out when you're at one of those bits and then put it back in and you should be okay. Also, although it's played on the gamepad and, you know, the gamepad has a touchscreen, there's very little interaction with the touchscreen. In fact, even the points where you're supposed to use the touchscreen, you can use the D-pad and buttons if you like. So if you're not a fan of the touchscreen controls, that won't be a problem because you won't be forced to use them, which is something I find is an extra positive, because I don't like features being there when they don't have to be, or at the very, very least, I like to see an alternative for the people who don't want to use. Now, the story mode is the main meat of the game, and you're expected to play through the story mode before you go off exploring. Although you can explore on your own, you won't have all the abilities until you beat story mode. Story mode itself is a very over-the-top, cliched 80s action movie sort of script. Very funny. I actually found myself laughing playing the game, which is rare. Normally, I laugh when playing a game because something stupid happens, like a character gets stuck in a wall or something like that. But with this game, it wasn't that was making me laugh. It was the script. The main character, Chase McCain, he says some pretty funny things. Some things you won't even get unless you're older like me. So those extra jokes mean that if you're watching someone else playing the game, you can laugh too. And they'll be wondering why you laughed. The story itself is okay. It's predictable, but I think that's half of the charm, is that it's, taking the mickey out of those sorts of stories. The main character, Chase McCain, he's very much like John McClane, Die Hard, like a suave cop as well. He reminds me of pretty much any 80s action movie main character ever, but without the bad language, which is an extra plus. He's got one-liners, and he'll often, after making a joke, make a joke about the fact he made that joke, which is funny. The jokes themselves, I mean, it's very predictable humor. It's very basic humor, but they've managed to avoid, as far as I can remember, making any toilet humor jokes. They've managed to avoid making rude jokes, except one or two that will fly over the heads of most people, but I got it and I laughed. Basically, the script is solid, really funny. Some of the characters are amazing. Every line they say is gold. Characters such as Frank Honey, he's just got an amazing script. He's so funny. So yeah, the story and the quirky nature of the game is fantastic. As for the story missions themselves, a lot of them revolve around driving from A to B, so if you found that boring in Grand Theft Auto, or if you think that might be boring, avoid the game outright. I don't mean that, but what I mean is the story missions involve a lot of driving. But there's also what's called the special assignments, and if you've played other LEGO games, then this is what you'll be familiar as. This is what will be familiar to you. This is what the levels are. So, like in a LEGO game, when you get in a level and then you have to do puzzles to get to the end using different LEGO costumes, then that's basically what the special assignments are. Sound direction in the game is really good. The first thing I'm going to do is pull out a negative, and that's that it's an open world game. It's pretty much a parody of Grand Theft Auto. So where are the radio stations? That's just one little gripe I have. I like the radio stations in Grand Theft Auto games. I like how you turn the radio station on and you get some hilarious jokes written by some radio presenter, and then they play some amazing song from the era that you completely forgot existed. And it makes you smile as you're driving around, because it's like this is the radio station that everybody else in the game world is listening to. So there's no radio stations, which is a bit of a letdown, but apart from that, sound is completely perfect. In terms of voice acting, the voice actors and actresses are amazing at what they do. They brilliantly fit every character. And then in terms of sound direction, the atmosphere sounds in the game are brilliant. The fact that Lego horses neigh like real horses, I like. The environment sounds brilliant. You're driving through the countryside, you hear countryside sounds. They didn't have to go to that level of detail. I mean, it's Lego. Theoretically, there shouldn't be any sounds. You're just playing with plastic toys. That's what the game is meant to represent. But all the sounds are there. Everything you'd expect to hear is there. Even things like you get to become a farmer. I haven't got footage of this because I'm too lazy. But you become a farmer and you get to run around with a chicken, right, that you can use to glide to places. And that chicken, when you're running around just with it in your hands, it's clucking with every step you make. And it's just, it's witty. I like the sound. I like the sound, it fits the game perfectly, and I can't really imagine it being any better than that. And the game itself opens with Walking on Sunshine. I mean, of all the songs to open up with, that just sums up the game perfectly, you know. Fun-loving, you know, what's not to love? That kind of game. A quick touch on the multiplayer, and that's that there is no multiplayer. This is the first exclusively single-player Wii U game that I've played. No tacked-on unnecessary multiplayer. So, in conclusion, this game is a time sink, okay? What that means is it's huge, it's massive as a game. So if you're playing it with the intention of getting 100% completion, then it will take you a very, very long time. No joke. There are 450 gold bricks in this game. Now, if you've played previous LEGO games, you'll know that you get a gold brick whenever you get your true rank in the game. So, like Indiana Jones, that would be True Adventurer, or in LEGO Star Wars, that would be True Jedi. You get a gold when you get that. You get a gold when you fulfill a particular type of requirement in a mission. So you basically get like 3 gold bricks per level, roughly, right? And then you have to buy the rest in previous LEGO games. In this LEGO game, there are 450 gold bricks, and you get gold bricks from what you would previously get them for, so buying them, also getting them from missions, but you also get them every time you build something special in the outside game world. Every time you do something special in the outside game world, every time you find particular things, destroy particular things that go towards a counter, getting all of those unlocks something special, and also gives you a gold brick. So getting all 450 gold bricks will take a long time. It will be a very checklist approach near the end when you're stuck trying to find the last few you need. I haven't even played that far, and I know it's going to be like that. There are locator upgrades you can unlock that make it easier to find these add-ons, but it will take some time. Well, that's all I wanted to say about LEGO City Undercover. I hope I've helped you gain an insight into whether or not you do actually want to buy the game or not. I hope my information was impartial and unbiased, but you know me, there's no such thing. If you're on the fence about getting it, get it. I am very strongly advising you that if you thought, hey, I might like this game, get it. I hope I've helped you make an informed decision. Until next time. If we live that long.
Hey, Harry! How many coffees have you had?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Did I have 6 shots or only 5? Well...
Okay, you've had enough.